What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so before I get into this video, I want to give a big shout out to the brother Tomiko for the $20 donation via the PayPal. Much respect to you for showing love to Too Raw for TV, aka Too Raw for Sports. Alright, so this is a question that was asked of me. You guys have been giving me a lot of good video material as far as questions. I can't believe I've never done a video about this. At least I don't think I have. And that is, what if Kobe Bryant had played for the Chicago Bulls? Now, I'm assuming that the questioner is talking about that trade that almost went down in 2007. Those of you too young to remember this, Kobe Bryant, for all intents and purposes, was done in LA. He felt like the Lakers organization was not trying to win. They were more, they were satisfied with just fielding a team that featured him, scoring a lot of points and filling seats, and that was good enough. All right. Kobe felt like his prime years were being wasted. So he was mentally done with Chicago by then. He went on a radio station, I think, and said that he wanted to be traded, which was a bombshell. And there were a couple of teams that he was interested in going to. I think one of them was the Clippers. He nixed a trade that would have sent him to Detroit. But the main team that he wanted to go to was Chicago. Now, of course, that didn't happen. And why was that? Well, because the Lakers wanted Luol Deng, who was a hot commodity at that time. And the Bulls didn't want to give up Luol Deng. And that's what made that trade fall through. Ultimately stayed in LA. Ultimately, Lakers acquired Pau Gasol, and the rest was history. But what if he goes to LA? Goes to Chicago. Well, this is before Derrick Rose. I believe Ben Gordon would have been traded to LA in this situation. I think Ben Gordon was there at that time. So it would have been, I can't remember everybody on the team, but I'm thinking it's a lineup that looks like Ben Wallace is there. I think Kurt Heinrich was there. So the backcourt would have been Kurt Heinrich, Kobe Bryant. The center was Ben Wallace. I think Luol Deng would have stayed there in this scenario. So Luol Deng is a small forward. And I can't remember the power forward at this time. I can't remember. This is before Joakim Noah, so I just can't remember the power forward. I'm trying to remember the coach. I think this was, I believe this is when Scott Skiles was the head coach. So Scott Skiles, I think, would have been a good fit with Kobe. This would have been a defensive orientated team. All right. Now, if Kobe goes there, I think just Kobe being on that team in general will add players to that team. They're going to want to play with Kobe. All right. Now, Kobe at this time is around 28, 29 years of age, so he's in his prime. What's going to be different about this scenario is now he's in the Eastern Conference, which means that more than likely we're going to finally get that matchup that we were denied in real life, which is a Kobe versus LeBron playoff matchup. Now, it won't be in the finals, but it might be in the Eastern Conference Finals or the conference semis or something like that, right? I'm willing to believe that Kobe on his squad, as motivated as he was, He's going to elevate the players around him. All right. I think on a team like that that's going to be defensive minded, Kobe's probably going to score more points. You know, on the Lakers, Kobe was scoring like, 27, 28 points per game on those championship teams. I'm thinking on these teams, Kobe's going to still score around 30, 31 a game. I think it's going to be up in that range. Now, not 34, 35 on terrible teams, but I think he'll be around that 30, 31 points per game range. So he might win a few more scoring titles playing on that team. But I think that bench will be showing up, and I think that ultimately that team would represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals a few times. Now, this is the thing. If Kobe's in the East, I mean, he's not in the West. So if the Lakers aren't going to the finals those years, then who is? Well, I guess it'll be whoever the hell the runner-ups were, like the Spurs or the Suns, maybe a couple of years. I do think that Kobe would go to the finals with the Bulls a couple times. Plus, there's always going to be that albatross of Michael Jordan going over, you know, he's going to the house that Michael built, the United Center or Chicago in general. There's going to be that. Matter of fact, I strongly believe that the whole motivation for Kobe to change to number 24 was originally on the belief that he was going to go to Chicago. I strongly believe that. But anywho, because he would have did it the year before that, and then the excuse that he gave, well, you know, I just want to make a change. It looks better than if he did it going to Chicago and then choosing a number that just happened to be a little bit higher than Mike, and people can take that for what they want. But anyway, I don't know, man. I just think that that team wouldn't be a super team off the bat, but you know they could probably add some pieces. They'd be a good team. The NBA was a little bit different then. It was still like a defensive oriented league to a great extent, right? I think with Kobe and maybe another go-to player added, maybe his second year, they could be a championship level team. I can't remember free agency at that time, but you know, with Lou Alday, maybe the third piece offensively, maybe at power forward they could add somebody like maybe Jameson, maybe Anton Jameson. I don't know, but whatever the case may be, I think that Kobe could possibly win a championship in Chicago, but it would not be easy. You know, he's not going to have Shaq, obviously. I see him going to a couple of conference finals, Eastern Conference finals. But it's not going to be easy. And I think that him going to the East would make LeBron forming that super team look even worse. It'll make it look even worse than, say, when he left because he couldn't beat the Boston Celtics. And that's another thing. That Celtic team, you know, in 2008, I don't think anybody's going to beat that team in the East. 2009, I don't know. Does Garnett still get hurt? These are legitimate questions. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't want to sit there and say, oh, the Bulls will win more titles, because I can't say that. Because the East was pretty competitive. And if you look at the team that Kobe would go to, they're a decent team, but I don't know if they're a championship team right off the bat. They might be like a team that go 47-35, maybe 49-33, 50-32, but I don't see them being a championship team, but a playoff team. But with Kobe being there, and Chicago being a prime market for maybe some valuable veterans that could shore up their bench and then add a secondary all-star player, and then maybe they can get to an NBA Finals and get past, the Boston Celtics. And I think LeBron becomes even more irrelevant because he's going to keep losing the first or second round. Hence, what I'm saying, are the storylines still about LeBron losing to the Boston Celtics, or is it about LeBron losing to Kobe? Or is it more the storylines Kobe versus the Celtics, and LeBron is like secondary? So there's a lot of ways you can look at this. LeBron could be in the background more, and maybe not as much pressure on him to win a championship. Perhaps, matter of fact, you could argue it'd be more pressure on Kobe to win a title because Kobe's the guy that's going to say, oh, see, he can't win without Shaq. So the media, being that they always had a little bit of an anti-Kobe bias, would probably put more pressure on Kobe to win. So maybe LeBron never even, now I think about it, maybe he never even goes to Miami because there's not as much pressure on him to win. Media pressure, at least. But anyway, it's hard to kind of figure this one out, man. There's a lot of different angles you got to look at, a lot of different things you got to look at. I tend to think, though, that Chicago Bulls team's going to win a championship. With the way Kobe was mentally, they're going to get him the help needed to win a title. You know what I'm saying? If they could do it in LA, they're going to do it in Chicago. They're going to win a championship. But anyway, tell me what you guys think.